All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Trading Battle sponsored by 8cap. My name is Chris Pulver, and we have gladiators, pugilists, trading experts here today, Rob Booker and Scott Welsh joining you today. Thanks for being with us today. Again, sponsored by 8cap, the Trading Battle. You can follow us out there on youtube.com/the Trading Battle. Follow us on Instagram as well as Twitter and your respective social media outlets. I'm going to bring on the fighters, the traders, for your viewing pleasure. We have Rob Booker, author of Adventures of a Currency Trader, Trading by Faith, and the Currency Trader's Handbook. Rob is a 20-plus year trading veteran. He is currently the CIO of InvestPub and head of the Rob Booker division. Rob, how are you, sir? Nice to see you.
Yo, what's going on, Chris?
I'm doing well, thank you. And next up in the red corner, actually, I was going to say this. The music was so good. I expected we were talking about shirts on, shirts off. I was expecting everyone to be just, it's party time now as this thing kicks off. Next up, we'll go yellow corner, I guess, Scott Welsh. Scott comes to us from the high performance world of tennis, and he does not disappoint. Scott is author of The Inevitability of Becoming Rich, an interview with the master, also The Legend of Purple Valley, an incredible trading journey. Scott took second place in the 2020 FX World Cup trading contest of Scott Welsh Strategy, also director of research for the RBD of InvestPub, which is Rob Booker division. So, gentlemen, you guys work together, but today you're going to be battling it out. So let's see if the becomes the master or vice versa. But nice to have you both here. We're live. Let's kick this thing off. Awesome to be here. And today, gentlemen, is a crypto battle. So say hello. What's up?
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? Initially, when I got this link, Chris and Rob, they said tennis battle. So, I mean, I don't know if we're going to the courts now or later. I don't know when we're going, but whatever. I'm ready.
It's all in the metaverse, Scott. It's all in the metaverse. So, I mean, if you've got your Oculus ready and we can jump in, we can play some Wii Sports. It's worth taking that a step further, but you are definitely dressed for the part. Guys, I'd like to get right into it with the battle royale. We just spent the last 10, 15 minutes just kind of nerding out. Rob, it sounds like you just recently, tell me how far back this rabbit hole goes for you when you've been diving deeper and deeper into cryptos and NFTs and nodes, as you mentioned. So give us a little backstory on, you felt like you missed the runs years ago, but where are you at now? What are your thoughts on cryptos?
Well, the short version of the longer story is that I've caught some big moves in my life. Like I got lucky a few times, but I think like everybody else, I've missed more than I've caught. So I missed out on NFTs. Like I said, that's ridiculous. And of course, NFTs are huge. It's still early enough that I got a chance. And then missed out on Bitcoin twice. Like twice, I almost pulled the trigger on Bitcoin, once at $100 and once at $1,000, and didn't pull the trigger. I bought Dogecoin in August of 2019, about 275,000 Dogecoin for like $1,000, and then I sold it a week before the giant run up. And so, I mean, and I've had my fair share of really great trades or whatever, but the ones that I've missed have really pissed me off. And I'm so like this time around, I've set aside small amounts of my capital to sort of dive into some of this stuff because the shelf life on these things seems to be much longer than we think it is. And so NFTs or nodes or even some crypto stuff, there's still so much opportunity right now. And I don't want to miss it this time. And I'm still going to miss some things, but I just sort of started diving into all of this stuff over the last few weeks. And some of the stuff is just ridiculous. It shouldn't work, but it does. Like a JPEG of a whatever shouldn't sell. I almost bought an NFT, for example, of Muhammad Ali standing over Joe Frazier. And I almost bought that NFT for $1,000. And I think it just recently sold for $500,000. And I couldn't do it because I didn't know how to buy wrapped ether. I still don't even know what that is. I could have just hired some dude living in his grandmother's basement to help me out with this, and I didn't do it. I'm never missing out on that stuff again. So
yeah. Scott, are you fairly, I mean, so does the terminology make sense? Are you in the same kind of position with Rob as like you don't want to miss out? Are you actively pursuing this, or are you just kind of going with the majors? Are you in Bitcoin, Ethereum? I'm just curious where both you guys are at with cryptos.
Well, I've got the wonderful opportunity to live vicariously through students, people who years ago said, "Hey, this Bitcoin thing." I mean, we're talking, 2015 or whatever. I mean, long time ago. And they would say, "Yeah, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy half of one, whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And honestly, I was very much in the Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett camp, where
Sure.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going to work. I don't know how to put a value on it. It's just thin air, and that was, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So
Hmm.
I didn't pay much attention. For my own accounts, I'm very much an automated trader. I'm very much a rule-based trader. And, I couldn't put a robot on crypto for a long time. So I was just kind of on the sidelines. But as you know, crypto's done some things, specifically Bitcoin. And so I started following it, and I've been following it now for a while. I'm dying to put an automated strategy on it. I'm dying to trade it. But right now, I'm just an analyst on it. And
Hmm.
yes, I get updates from my students. They cry when the crashes, and they're just giddy when it goes up. But I've been involved with crypto, but not literally in my own account. So I'm excited to get started, actually.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to be taking some trades today. I am curious. Let's start with kind of battle challenge number one for both you guys. Let's start with you, Scott, since you've got the handle right now. What is your favorite setup now? I mean, any currency, any crypto, like what is your favorite setup right now that you're liking? If it's finally putting an automation strategy onto it, or just looking at an outlook. I'm just curious, and I can share the screen here and share the charts if you want me to
Oh,
walk some
sure.
viewers through it. But what do you like?
Sure. Honestly, I like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two most popular ones. But specifically Bitcoin, I've been watching. This is the one I've watched the most of all of them. As the smaller ones have cropped up, I look at them in a cursory way, but nothing in deep. I mean, I look at Bitcoin literally every day.
Hmm.
So right now, I don't know. I've heard some rumors about some things going on near Russia. I don't know. I don't know what's exactly going on. Maybe
Uh,
they're
yeah,
gathering for some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's a
it's a
seminar or
fire
something.
festival.
Yeah. FYRE,
The
right.
greatest party that never happened.
That's right. Um, and so I'm a little bit bearish right now. I feel like if the world goes into turmoil, whether it will
Yes.
or won't, I mean, only Putin knows. But I feel like we might see a little bit of a fall, a little bit of a retreat on Bitcoin. So I love the lows. I'm on my charts. I'm on the hour chart, but I've got two real levels.
Okay.
I would love a low below 29. I'm sorry, 25 on my charts, 64-ish. And in honestly, and under that swing low too. So I'm on the 1 hour chart and I'm looking for it to break down. And I'm also on the 4 hour chart and I'm looking for a breakdown there and even closer to the current price. I would
Okay.
love to get a short move, and I would love, and what I don't know how even long I'd hold it, but I'd love to see it break down below that level of the recent little swing low, and I'd love to get short.
Okay. So near term, you're thinking short. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's safe to say that the market doesn't know what we have. I think it's very difficult to digest anything that's risk appetite right now. I think this Russia Ukraine escalation, the tensions have to dissipate for the stock market to get some rally interest, for cryptos to certainly get some rally interest. So Scott, you're talking about levels below the 2021 lows, like $28,500 or so. Is that safe? You're looking at getting short to those levels?
I would, if I get in, I wouldn't
Hmm.
mind, yeah, taking it down to the 30,000 level or even a little bit below. Yes. I feel
Okay.
like we could test those lows before anyone gets positive again. I feel
Yeah.
like if we could break a level downward, I think we could get there.
Okay. And so as far as how you trade, I mean, you were walking us through a 1 hour chart, a 4 hour chart. Do you think that your stop losses, would you have robots that are leveling in? Would you have robots that are using stop losses above this recent swing high at 45,000? Take us through a little bit of your strategy.
I love breakouts. I've been studying breakouts now for many, many years. It's simple. It's not complicated, but guess what? Breakouts work. And if something's going
Hmm.
to go 1,000%, it's got to break above a high to do it or break below a
Correct.
low. So a lot of my automated strategies are breakout based. So to answer your question, I would love to see a break below the low of the recent lows.
Hmm.
And the stop, you got it, on an hour chart would be right above the highs.
Yeah.
In an automated strategy, it might even be like, 100 points or something like that, depending on, the research that went into it. But if I were to take this trade and I were to put my robot on it, the stop would be right around those recent highs, correct?
Okay. Fantastic. Do you take for a strategy like that, Scott? Would you take one entry or would you take multiple? If you have a stop loss, would you dollar cost average in and have multiple entries that equal your total risk, or do you just like the one entry, the one breakout confirmation, and stop and limit, and that's your style?
I mean, I'm so boring. It's embarrassing how boring I am. But I would take
I mean,
one
look at the
position.
outfit. You're not boring. Look at the outfit. It's amazing.
Yeah. I would take one position, one target, one
Okay.
stop, one move to break even, one tennis racket. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Just a nice little volley. Keep it in play, right? Keep it in between the lines.
That's right.
All right, Rob. Let's switch it over to you. Your favorite setup right now. And by the way, Scott, if you like that setup, I mean, this is a trading battle. If you want to take that, you can. We're going to have a challenge for today's session. We're going to have a challenge for today's week, or this week rather, to see, like, by the end of the week, who's got the best results for the remainder of the trading week, or today's battle. So if you want to take that trade, you can, and both of you can share your screens if you're placing those trades live. So the only stipulation is trade size. We just do a standard lot across the board. So I know that depending on what we trade, we have a special surprise here in just a moment. But if you want to take that trade, let us know, and we can keep tabs on that through the session today. And then, Rob, over to you. Favorite crypto, favorite setup for right now. What do you like?
All right. So do you want me to attempt to share my screen? Is that what we're going to do here?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to give this a shot.
Okay.
And I clicked the screen sharing button, not to act like I don't know what I'm doing, but let me know. Are you looking at my screen?
I'm looking at your face.
You're looking at my face. Well, that's
There we
a
go.
suitable option. There we go. Okay.
Gorgeous.
You can see the resemblance.
So I agree with Mr. Welsh, and what I like right now is, even though I'm sort of bullish big picture on the crypto stuff, I agree. I think right now we're in a risk off mentality situation. So this is a 5-minute chart of Bitcoin, and you're gonna see the same looking chart if you look at everything. So Ethereum's gonna look the same. I'm guessing Doge is gonna look the same. It does. I'm gonna guess that stuff that we've never heard of looks the same. DNT.US is the only crypto on Coinbase that doesn't look exactly the same as every other crypto. Every other crypto looks almost exactly the same. So it's a very highly correlated situation here. So I don't really think it matters which one you trade. You could jump on, you could jump into this, but I would favor, for the day anyway, if we're going to call trades or if there's a scoreboard or whatever, I would just say I'm short Bitcoin at 37,700. So 37,700. That's what I would do right now. And I think that we're just in a risk off situation just because of all of these world events that are going on. So this is the 1 hour chart. So I bought Bitcoin a few weeks ago on a Saturday, and I rode that up for a bit, and it retested the neckline of a really old Head and Shoulders type of pattern, and then it's dropped again back to the lows that it made. But I think in this risk off environment, it would not shock me to see Bitcoin fall $300 from where it is right now, maybe at a maximum, $400 or so. And that's like a short term type of thing. I wouldn't hold that long term. I'm not bearish in the super long term. I'm just bearish today because, the risk markets are highly correlated. So the S&P 500 doesn't look so hot today. The Russell doesn't look that great today. The NASDAQ doesn't look that great today. And it's not a surprise. Bitcoin is really a risk on, risk off asset. And so that's my trade call for the day anyway. I'm not sure about the rest of the week, but I feel pretty confident. I mean, obviously it's already dropping as we're talking here, but I'm with Scott on sort of the risk off environment. So I generally don't look at fundamentals first, but we picked a day where the world is coming to an end and dogs and cats are living together and there's mass hysteria. So I think it's fair to say that today's one of those days where you could see that. Otherwise, I would just be looking at pure technicals, really.
Sure.
Like a mini Head and Shoulders type pattern, even on a 5-minute chart. It looks like we're about to, test or drop to this really short-term neckline. And Chris, I don't know how you drew those really super cool lines on your chart, but I would say it would not shock me to see Bitcoin drop to 36,700, so a full $1,000 from where we talked about it. That wouldn't shock me at all. That's actually
Yeah.
also kind of a recent low.
Yeah, we have so the recent low from January 24th. That's sitting right around 30.
Yeah.
I've got the let me zoom in. It's just below 33,000, and then from there you look left and it's back to those equal lows and all that support we have around 30,000. So I agree with both of you. Longer term, I think longer term I think the whole world has optimism around cryptos. I think that you have your Buffetts and Mungers and your skeptics that think it's all a big scam. You Peter Schiff, I've been listening to plenty of podcasts with him comparing, apples to oranges and Peter Schiff gold versus Bitcoin. But the enthusiasts and the game theory is, Bitcoin to, $100,000, Bitcoin to
Well,
a million
yeah.
plus, and over time, sure. But right now, risk off environment, I totally agree that there's a lot tied to, everything has to be moving positively, markets across the board, for I think Bitcoin to have its stability. Now, let me ask you guys this: do you think that we will enter a time where there's going to be a disconnect between this risk on risk off with crypto? Do you think that over the next 2 to 3 to 5 years that Bitcoin would ever be seen as the true digital gold, the store of value, the utility, the anti-fiat, where it disconnects, where if the stock market drops, that Bitcoin could actually be gaining in value? What do you think we'd have that in the next couple of years to see that correlation, or is it strictly risk on risk off and it stays that way until it changes?
I'll let Scott go
Well,
first.
Okay.
I got first. I am short, so newsflash, breaking news, CNBC.
Breaking
Uh,
news.
I
Love it.
was looking when I was talking before. I was accidentally looking at Ethereum, so my numbers might have been a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But I'm short 37,450, right
Okay.
about. Let's see, just below that, and I'd love to see it get down to like 36. Well, really to that low. So somewhere, I'd love to get maybe $1,500 out of it. But I'm definitely short. I'm not short long term. I'm fully expecting it to break a trend line up and resume its climb. But I am short. I am up $15. So you want to just call me the champ? That's fine.
Yes.
I'm up 22
We can
cents now.
cash in that Susan G. Komen Foundation. Get ready. Big donations coming your way.
Right. But to answer your question, boy, I have a hard time. Is Bitcoin a fiat? Is Bitcoin an escape for the dollar? Is a dollar worthless and Bitcoin is not? I know the zealots and I know the argument and it's compelling. And I know the $100,000 argument and it's compelling. I'm not sure how much of that is feeding into Bitcoin, though, since we've had the gamification and the meme stocks. I'm not sure millions of people are trading it on their apps with the idea that it's going to replace the dollar. I think they're just buying it because it moves. So I'm still very fuzzy on what the overall worldly global significance is going to be. Right now, I think it's kind of a playpen a little bit, which is scary and wonderful at the same time.
Yeah. Really, really interesting. Rob, same question to you.
Yeah, Peter Schiff is clearly way smarter than us. And I'm going to put that in quotation marks because you're always way smarter than everybody else until you're not. So
Right.
I would be careful about ever sort of replacing gold with anything else as a store of real value. Gold's not really a store of real value. Like when the zombie apocalypse happens, it's not like you're going to be sitting on top of a pile of gold coins and anybody's going to care. It's going to be,
Right.
Guns, ammo, trucks, stuff like that. That's the real store of value, is your ability to feed yourself
Survival and
during a
bartering, and
crisis.
yeah.
So
Yep.
Gold is really not even. It's just whatever. Is gold really worth anything either? No. It's just if a meteor struck the Earth and it was made of gold, gold would fall just like anything else. It's a supply and demand issue, and as long as gold is perceived as having the biggest supply and demand crunch, and as long as inflation is up, gold's probably going to do really well. Long term, though, as there are fewer and fewer Bitcoins, and as they, I think as the supply dwindles or the whatever, we're getting, closer and closer to 21 million or whatever the number is. I think sure there will be a supply and demand issue. But until then, it's kind of like a question, like while people are debating that question, other people are making millions of dollars. So
Yeah, that's
you can
huge.
have
Yes.
fun
Right.
having your pointy-headed academic conversations, or you could just make money on what's moving with stop losses, and you could just not worry about it. Like, I think there's two kinds of people in the world as the markets are concerned. There's people who talk a lot about it, and then there's people who don't talk much and who make a lot of money. And I would
Mhm.
like to stop being a member of the first group and start
Right.
being a member of the second group.
Right.
And so my answer would really be nobody really should care. Who cares, right?
Mhm.
I know none of us do. Like, we shouldn't care. It shouldn't even factor into our conversation. We should buy stuff that's doing well, and we should sell it when it stops doing well. And we should
Mhm.
stop buying stuff that doesn't do well and list out a bunch of reasons why it should be going differently. Like, this whole Russia Ukraine thing is a great example of that. People are debating whether or not Russia's really going to do it. It doesn't really, until something actually happens, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It has no effect on my life. I can't change it. Debating other people about it is ridiculous. There's a guy in my chat room who keeps posting these diatribes about how Russia will never invade Ukraine, but it doesn't have any effect on our personal lives at all. It's like,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. So I think the most important thing to do is, I think what Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett did all along: buy stuff at the best price you can get it and dump it if it's not doing well. And
Mhm.
otherwise, so I'm not disagreeing with you even bringing the question up, but I think it's a great one. We get so wrapped up in these opinions
Sure.
when in reality, none of us even know. Like, we don't have any idea. There's
A
no one knows anything. So
Right.
just leave your
Absolutely. And
robot
and it
on. Yeah,
it's all
leave
it's
your
all
robot on.
speculation. It's all guessing. I mean,
Yeah.
my stance on cryptos is, and I think Rob, the last time we talked about this in our trading battle with Jamie, we had mentioned cryptos briefly, and it's total pure risk capital. I mean, I have to be comfortable with cryptos going to zero, and all the money I've invested and tried to make on it goes to zero. At the same time, if I'm long term, I hope it goes up like everybody else does. But it's a calculated risk right now. It's just crazy that we've created just these I mean, you said diatribes, but we've created these parties of, I mean, it's so polarizing, just like a lot of things in society now. It's very polarizing, but I like to have those conversations simply because it's interesting that, like, if you believe in it and you want to be told it, you're gonna fill your Twitter feed up with people that are like-minded and not necessarily on the other side of it. So
Well,
anyway.
it's like Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger is a great example. Charlie
Yep.
Munger and Warren Buffett hated Bitcoin while
Hmm.
Bitcoin was on the way to $65,000, and then Bitcoin
Right.
dropped, and like, see, I was right. It's like, okay, well, like, I don't know
Hindsight.
what the point is anymore. Like, I
Right.
think most of the world of investing in trading, especially the trading education industrial complex, of which I am a member. So this giant complex that's set up to convince people that you know something they don't know and they should pay you to find it out. The
Right.
entire world of that, with the exception of Scott and me and you, Chris Pulver, and a few others, the entire world is set up to say, I think this might happen. So we're going to buy this in the hopes that it does happen. And sometimes that thing happens and your trade doesn't go anywhere anyway.
Hmm.
Sometimes that thing happens and your trade loses. And
Hmm.
sometimes that thing happens and it goes up. I think a better approach is really the Benjamin Graham, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett thing, which is wait until it's actually going.
Right.
Wait until it actually is moving. Don't try to guess if it's going to start moving.
Right.
Wait till it does start moving and then hop on that train and stop tying specific events to an outcome, because you're going to be disappointed for the rest of your life, because the NFP can be great and the euro falls. The NFP can be great and the euro drops. And the
Mhm.
Russia can invade the Ukraine and the stock market could go up. Like,
Right.
nobody fucking knows. Like, nobody
Right.
really knows. So just don't trade what you think. Trade what you see.
What you see.
And
And
some of
that's
what you can
perfect to
see
Scott's
is,
strategy. I mean, Scott's
yeah.
you say you're boring, but you're also, it's so simple. It's, you know, the power of the simplicity. Keep it seriously simple. Like, that's awesome. I mean, Scott could be the perfect just trade what you see. And Scott, I know that for years, I mean, you've talked to, I mean, even in Rob's conferences, you've talked about turtles. I know you've loved that group of traders, teaching people how to trade. And it could be as simple as trend following, trade the breakouts, trade confirmation when things are running, ride the coattails, that momentum, and ride it as long as you can. And so I mean, if that's as simple as it is, but yet that could be the actual that Rob said, you the what the talkers and the doers, right? If you want to be on the side that's just let the game do the talking, let the process do the talking, then it's all about the trading. So on that note, I would like to bring up something very exciting today. I'm going to share my screen here and switch it over because, gentlemen, we have the wheel of
Oh,
cryptos. The wheel of
oh,
cryptos.
oh.
So get ready, everybody. I'm going to make sure we can play this with audio on. So let me try this one more time. Make sure this is playing the system audio. Yes. And here we go. Okay. So show of hands. First one up fastest. Who wants to take the first? Oh, Scott wins. Okay, Scott. So, do you want to take the trade or you want to give the trade based on this first spin? You get to pick. So you
I'm gonna.
can have Rob take the trade, or you can take the trade.
I'll take it.
Take it. Okay, so we're gonna spin the wheel of cryptos, everybody. Drum roll, please. Here we go.
No Vanna though, right? Is there Vanna? Is she
No
here?
Vanna. I
Okay.
mean, if I had like the we need an NFT of Vanna. That I think that would sell. All right.
Polkadot.
DOT.
Polkadot. Scott, what would you like to do with Polkadot? Would you like to buy or sell? Because
No, I'm
that,
selling.
sir.
Like we've talked about, it's in a
Yep.
little bit. That's in the hourly chart. It looks like it's trending down on a fairly aggressive bar.
Yep.
It's kind of making a new low. No, I like it. I like it down to that recent low. Let's do it. Sell me.
Okay. Scott is in. So we'll take a 1608 market for Scott selling Polkadots. All right. I like it.
This is not dipping dots, right? Because I'm a little bit hungry. It's not dipping dots though, correct?
It is not dipping dots.
Okay.
I wish it was.
All right.
I miss that stuff. I want some astronaut ice cream too. I like the futuristic stuff. Speaking of futuristic, do either of you guys have electric vehicles right now? Rob, you don't have. Do you have a Tesla still, or you got rid of it? What are you driving nowadays?
I've had every electric vehicle, and now
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
another Tesla. So I have another
Okay.
Tesla now. Yeah.
Okay. I just drove one this weekend. They're pretty nice. Weirdest adjustment is just letting it automatically brake for you. That was the only thing that was weird, but they're awesome. It was a
Yeah. So
Model X or whatever.
I had a Model X. I had a Porsche Taycan,
Mm.
and I have a Model Y now. I sold the Porsche back to the dealer for $10,000 more than I bought it for. I sold the other Porsche back to the dealer for. I bought the Porsche for whatever 135 or something like that. I sold it back to Porsche, and then they put it in the showroom for 152, and it had 5,000 miles on it.
Wow.
So I took all
Like
that
NFT?
money. I took all that money and bought NFTs. No, just kidding. I took all that money. I put 50,000 of it into the robot, and Scott and I and you, we all know what that is. And
Yes.
then I took another 50 and set it aside for high yield crypto stuff. That's one of it's making 5% a day or whatever. And then I set aside the rest of it for stuff that is just passive and I haven't done yet. But so then I took the money and I bought a Model Y on an order cancellation, so I didn't have to wait. I just bought a Model Y off the truck. And
That's awesome.
yeah, so I mean, but yeah, the electric cars are amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I will probably never drive a gas powered car again.
Sure.
As my
Okay,
main
real
goal.
quick on that. So Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, why don't they just make electric cars look like normal cars? Like Tesla did it right. Like the GMC Hummer, that's pretty smooth, but like when you make them futuristic and boxy and like I mean, nobody really loved the style of the Toyota Prius. And if you're making the 2022 and 2023 lines that are just too futuristic, it's just make a nice looking car. Like the Ford Mustang looks great. The Mach-E is awesome. It's a nice looking sport utility vehicle. Anyway,
Have you seen the
I digress.
Polestar? The Polestar?
Yes, that's really nice. Look, that's a little SUV, right?
No, the
Or they?
Polestar is like a sedan or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they took a bunch of like Amazon boxes and then put an electric motor inside of it or whatever. But
I like
you're
it.
right. I mean, it's
Nice looking car.
yeah, it's a sweet car. I love the electric vehicles. I love but the Tesla in particular. I gamed the system on my safety score on the Tesla, so you get a safety score in your app. And I gamed the system, so to speak, and then I unlocked on Christmas Day the full self-driving. So
Okay.
it drives me through the city streets. I drove like 140 miles to take my son to an interview to a military academy, and we didn't touch the wheel at all. Like I put a little weight on the steering wheel so it thinks my hand is on the steering wheel, and I just I didn't drive at all. Like I just literally, and I think that's pretty great. That's pretty amazing. So
That is
I
amazing.
love that stuff. It's like driving inside of your cell phone. I don't know who wouldn't be excited about that, but it's not for everybody. So
Scott, your thoughts? You get an electric
I
vehicle?
don't have one yet. We're stuck with the ultimate driving machine, which isn't that ultimate. But the next one is an EV, and then that'll be it. I will never buy gas again.
Okay, that's fair. Rob, I took the honor to spin it for you, but I think for the sake of drama, let's. I mean, I can. I'll give you a choice. I'll let you choose. So we have Luna, which I just got on with the spin, but I'll spin it one more time and I'll give you the pick. So it's either Luna or Bitcoin.
So I think Scott needs to take a trade on Luna.
Ooh,
Okay,
come
Scott's
on.
going to trade Luna. Rob, you're going to trade Bitcoin. Are you already in? You're already in Bitcoin.
I'm
From
already
what
in
we
the
talked about
Bitcoin
earlier?
at 37,700, but
Okay,
Luna's an interesting looking.
let's take a look
Luna's
at
an
Luna.
interesting look. It looks like the old Eiffel Tower pattern. So I'll share my screen even on Luna. Check
Oh
this.
wow,
Check this out. This is the old Eiffel Tower pattern.
yeah, that does not look the same as the other ones we looked at earlier today.
Yeah. So check this out. Let's see if I can find it. Alpha team on
Ooh.
price patterns. If you can find this ebook, it is maybe one of the greatest. Oh my gosh, here it
Oh
is.
boy.
Now, this ebook doesn't exist anymore. It was published. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. If you can find this, it's pretty. Oh my gosh, 2005. All right,
Woo!
check this bad boy out. I don't know if I could post the link somewhere, but I'll send it over to the team.
Alpha
This
team.
is so my friend Max was moving, and we sold this ebook for like $9 or whatever back in 2005, and there are some of the greatest patterns ever. The master gnome swing trading pattern, the smoking monkey, the drinking buffalo, the stochastic monster, and this is the Empire State Building pattern.
There
This
it
is a real
is.
pattern. Like the book
Good
is
good retrieval, by the way. I mean, that's a 17-year-old pattern, Rob. This
yeah,
ebook. It's
yeah.
impressive.
This is these like if you told me I had to trade my way off of a deserted island or whatever using price patterns, I would refer to this book because as crazy as this is, these are actual price patterns, just renamed fun stuff.
Sure.
And this is the I think Scott and I still trade stuff like the strike zone that's based on the second move after this pattern.
Yep.
So I would buy Luna probably on a the creation of a second shoulder higher on a head and shoulders pattern. But you know, that's just me. But anyway, if you can find this ebook, this is a long time ago, and some of the traders that I wrote this with have retired and are done trading forever. Like they've made their money. One of the guys in particular, Max, there's a story here. I got just a quick story. He bought the U.S. dollar Canadian dollar at $1.10, set a profit target on it at $1.20, so 1,000 pips. Walked away, shut it off, walked away, came back 6 months later or whatever. It was 50 pips away from his profit target, 950 pips in. He didn't take profit because he set his profit target for 1,000 pips. It went all the way back down, lost 900 pips, back to almost his entry, held on to it, and then like a year later, it went all the way to the profit target. And it just goes to show, like, there's something to be said for the discipline of sticking with a trade that it is based on a real set of rules and not breaking your rules because of things go, sideways or whatever. But anyway, he stayed in that trade. He was in that trade for like 18 months total, made 1,000 pips. And it was one of the most fun things to watch in my whole trading career. And he and I wrote this little booklet together. So
That's
Rob,
awesome.
that story always makes me anxious, by the way. Every time I've heard it,
50
it makes
pips.
me nervous every time.
That is actually why I have the rule that I call the good enough rule, because 950 pips of 1,000 pip target would be good enough for me. But I get it.
No.
I get it. I mean, Rob, you had stories of traders that were trading to pivots, right? You told, hey, come sit in my office, just trade to this pivot. And they stacked all these orders up going to that pivot, wouldn't trade, wouldn't get out of the trade until it hit the pivot. It's just crazy, like that binary function of just traders sometimes.
The greatest day trader in history is someone that no one here has ever met. Scott's met him.
Mm-hmm.
But the greatest day trader in history was was Kurt. And Kurt was a pharmacist turned trader, came to my office. He won a contest. I told him, I don't know, just trade to the pivots. I didn't even expect you to really show up. And he did. And he started taking these $2,800 accounts and growing them to $72,000. And they would travel around the world and he would show these accounts and he would be up $60,000 in an account. And then he wouldn't close the trade. And then it would draw down $40,000. And he would just pop it up on the screen like, anyway, this is my account. How's everybody doing? And the guy he was like stone cold killer. Guy lived in a house with a hole in the roof. Like he just was like, whatever, holes in the roof, I'll get to it in a while. Would go out on his lunch break from the pharmacy and he would just, pop in a couple orders to the pivots. And then he would just say, I'm all in. I'm 100% committed no matter what. And there's something to be said for good enough. And there's something to also be said for being like a stone cold, like to really, like these guys were in a class by themselves and I don't even want to be like that. But it's a different mentality. It's a whole different psychology that most of us don't even understand. And but he was the greatest day trader I ever met in my life. And he just kept running these accounts from $2,800 to $72,000. And then one day he just disappeared. He went witness protection program or something, just disappeared, like literally disappeared. So anyway, yeah. So there's tons of stories like that from the old days.
Rob, are you gonna force a Luna trade for Scott? Scott, do you want to take a Luna trade? You like the Empire State pattern, or you want to call it something else?
No, I love that pattern. I've always loved it. Yeah, absolutely.
You like?
Well, I'm short twice, so I wouldn't. Do I have to buy it now, or can I give you a buy above 54?
Yeah, I mean, you can set it because this one could go into so this could be Wheel of Crypto. We also have Challenge 3, which is this could be your trade if you like this one, maybe holding it for the remainder of the week. And I mean, like I said, I think the posture of Luna looks different than the other ones. I mean, we've clearly had a decent run from 48, 70 all the way up to a little spike at 56. So there's certainly some different structure to that one. But yeah, if you like to buy out above 44. And are you trying to take that up above the new high, like go after 56?
Yeah, buy above, I think 54, is that right? And I would love 56. Yep, 54 to 56 is what I see.
Yeah, and Scott, there's a missed monthly pivot, an unhit monthly pivot at $62 and
wow.
80.
Well, then I want that.
63.
Now you got its attention.
I don't have pivots on my MT5, so that is important information that I needed to know.
So we just shared the link to that crazy ebook in the YouTube chat.
Awesome. All right. So is it in the YouTube chat? Oh, by the way, just a quick plug. Hopefully everyone is, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, youtube.com/thetradingbattle. You can follow ACAP as well. Follow the Trading Battle on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. They do multiple battles a week. And it's been, I mean, today, I mean, Rob, Scott, I mean, we've known each other for a long, long time. Some of the other panelists that are on here, I mean, you're getting some amazing stories. I know that just recently, in fact, Martin from ACAP was talking to me about Lady of Crypto and getting into like some of the launch pads and some of the, node stuff. Like there really is tons of money to be made in the crypto space. And it's not just like, oh, I have a Coinbase account, I trade crypto. It's like they're, in the trenches and doing research, but I think it's fascinating. It's crazy because I mean, I don't know how. I mean, you guys are all busy. I mean, Scott, you run tons of robots. Rob, you're always busy with tons of different trades and your services and everything else. But just the focus in this arena right now is, I mean, it could keep you as busy as you want to be, I think.
Hey, Chris, I have a question for you, and I have a question for Scott. That's kind of off topic and kind of just along the lines of what you just said. If there's anything you've been trading for all of us here have been trading for a long time now. Mm-hmm. If there's anything that you could change, if you retained all of your knowledge and I closed all of your trades, and you're a great trader, Chris, you're probably the best. You're probably, of all the people I've ever met, probably the best suited to be running $100 million. Like it's not even, I don't know why you're not already doing it.
Interview next week.
Is there anything, if you started today with all the knowledge that you have now, is there anything you would change about your daily schedule or your routine or the way that you trade? Would you stop doing some things and triple down on other things?
At this point, for the way that I trade, for me personally, I have to be willing to take more risk, because what I've proven to myself over the last 8 years is I can make money and I don't have to take a lot of risk to do it. What's crazy is I set very little expectations. I don't have profit targets. I don't have goals, right? I mean, I want to just make as much money as I can, as much profit as I can, while also keeping the risk very manageable and keeping my stress and emotions out of it. So I wish I was just willing to double down or triple down, or be willing to say, look, I'm comfortable with that 5 and 10% drawdown, but maybe I need to get comfortable, or be comfortable being uncomfortable with that 10, 15, 20% running drawdown, to then manage my way towards higher profits. So as an example, I did this year. I mean, you guys know that I handle some accounts. um, I have a lot of my accounts now in a slightly higher leverage situation. So I still have a master account, and then I have the copied accounts, and I bump them up to 1.5 to 2 times leverage, just as a mirror, because I know how I trade, I know how I watch and monitor, I know what numbers I'm comfortable with. And for me to know that, okay, my process is going to be pretty consistent, 3 to 5% drawdowns producing 15% gains. Now that same 15% with my formula, with my process, is 22.5%. And the reason I've done this is because over the last 10 years, I have beat the S&P 500. I beat the Barclay Hedge Fund Index. But the last 3 years, I felt like I've been a bit of a failed trader. Like, how do I not keep pace with the S&P 500? How do I not, I mean, last year the S&P did 26%. The year before that it was 19.5%. It's like, how do I not keep pace with that with one instrument that just goes up? And it makes it look so easy when it has, 11 out of 12 winning months. And yes, omit 2020's March crash, and you just buy the dip, and all of a sudden you're up, 16% for the year in 2020. So all I'm saying is, if I have the knowledge, I wouldn't really change a lot. I would certainly incorporate more automation, which, Scott, you're a huge influence and inspiration for me, of knowing you this long and trading more automation now, because I build a ton. I build a ton of robots. And I know that, I mean, if you and I sat down and talked about it, I'd love to, share what I have. And same thing for you. I mean, I'd always love to see what you do. So, um, Rob, you too. I mean, you really got into automation, and it just showed, like, that does make the process way easier to follow. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been bored out of my mind the last, like, month, watching my P&L barely fluctuate. I'm in 75 open positions in forex, and my P&L is barely moving. And it's
Yeah, and
it's
you
it's
you
not
trade
for
really
lack of
small.
trying, but I trade
You
really
trade
small.
really
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
trade really small, and I mean, like, people don't understand what that means when we talk about that. But
Sure.
the average trader in forex that has a $10,000 account is trading anywhere between a standard lot and multiple mini lots. So
Right.
anywhere from $3 a pip up to $10 a pip or higher. And to you, that is a monumental psycho amount of risk. Like, that
Mhm.
to you an abhorrent. That's an easy way to blow up your account. Like, what you've done is truly proven that by lowering your trade size, you will do better. Like,
Mhm.
it's incontrovertible now, and no one can prove to me otherwise that the fastest way to improve your trading is to lower your trade size to the point where it doesn't even feel like you are taking any trades.
Right.
It takes all the stress out of it. But I love the idea of gradually increasing the risk to get some more out of it. Like, Scott, what would you do differently? What would you like? You're also, we've all been doing this for over 10 years each. So, like, is there anything that you would like, man, if I wasn't so heavily invested in the old, what's it called? The fallacy of the loss, or whatever that is, where you've sunk those costs already. Is there anything you would change about the way you do things, or?
Well, currently, I really enjoy my days. I love the fact that I get to do research for our company. I mean, I love doing that, so wouldn't change that. But if I had a time machine and go back, if I have a regret, it's not trading soon enough, and not trading large enough, and not trading enough things. I build 5 different versions of a robot, and and I not trading all 5. Well, why would I, at least I didn't back then. Why not get a bunch of stuff in the market if you believe in it? I think I'm too cautious, especially in the past. I think I waited this, I'm going to watch this trade for 6 months before I put some money on it, where I feel like if you do the research, maybe I could have gotten started sooner. So I'm working on that. I would like to go bigger, and I would like to trade more things, as I come up with maybe a futures or maybe a crypto or maybe a stock instead of sticking to, just the robots to expand. But I'm deliriously happy on my daily life. So I have no regrets there. I guess I wish I would have started sooner in trading more things, but otherwise I'm very happy with what's going on.
This guy,
What about you, Rob?
Gerard. Hey, Gerard, what's up, dude? My
Yeah.
homie Gerard says, not sure why you don't take advantage of the market when you see the sequential pattern. Well, I don't know why you
I
don't
think we do.
take
I mean, we
advantage
saw
of
the
the.
pattern.
I don't know why you don't take advantage of the bread tangle of pizza thing when you see the dough. Like, I don't know what the question means. It's like the old Lewis Black. What's the political affiliation of a tuna fish sandwich? Gerard, if you rephrase your question in the form of a question, dude, I'm down for it because I don't take advantage of enough stuff. So if you rephrase that in a way that I could understand, I'm down for that. The reason I ask both of you that question is I probably know more traders by their first name than maybe anybody in the world. I don't know if that's true, but it's theoretically actually true. And I don't think I've met a single person who is long-term successful or actually makes money that is trading a significant size. Like most people have it, really dialed down, and the slow and steady wins the race kind of mentality. The other thing that I've noticed that you both have in common is that you're not like running and gunning or shooting from the hip. Like everything that you do is well thought out and methodical to the point of you almost sometimes question whether you're doing enough. Each of you, I've heard this, we've been through these conversations before. And after spending all these years, trading a robot, I used to say to Bill Walsh, the anesthesiologist in Los Angeles who got up to $1,000 a day using the same robot that I built, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. I used to say to him, like, if I wanted to put $1 million somewhere, here's what I would do. And I used to say I would just run the robot. I would just run the robot, dial down the risk, and I would just make $500 a day or whatever. It would never blow up, and I would just sort of feed off of this $500 a day thing. And then I never did it.
Mhm.
Then I still never did it anyway. And so the reason I ask is that I admire so much of what you both do. But one thing that I've done this year myself is like, stop just pulling up a chart and saying, is there a trade here? And just say, well, what kind of runs in a really boring way? What kind of just sort of kicks off money? Well, trading a really, really small size in long-term trades, that works, Chris. Like that, it works. It's 100% that it works. If anybody here hasn't read Bird Watching in Lion Country, it's a 1,000-year-old Forex book written by a guy who was around almost as long as I've been around. I don't know if the guy's dead anymore. He was in South Africa, Dirk Dutoit or whatever. The guy wrote this book, Bird Watching in Lion Country, and he said, don't take a lot of trades and trade super long term. And then all of his students started winning all these trading competitions and still nobody paid any attention to it. And there's just these stories on top of stories. And then Scott's been running robots pretty much as long as I have, and proving again, like if you just let the car drive itself, like if you teach the car rules on how to get around, the car is going to be a better driver than you in almost 1,000% in almost every single circumstance. A Tesla will drive more safely than a human, as long as a human is still there to take over when things go wrong. I don't know why anyway, so that's kind of what having had a long friendship with both of you. If we were really going to do a service to all these people that are here today, it's like we don't really know that many active traders who are firing away all the time and saying, well, Russia's going to invade Ukraine. What's our trade? Like, it's the same shit that it's always been. Like, leave your robot on, take long-term trades, and don't touch the stuff. And like literally, these are super simple, super boring rules. And so, like, guys, I turned on the robot that I haven't even run myself for 2 years, and I'm such an idiot. Like, I'm such an idiot for not just letting that thing happen by itself. I still don't have any money with Chris. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? There's so many things that we don't do caught up in other stuff. So that's what it's similar to what you both said. I would just do more of what works and less of what doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well said. And I mean, look, I'm going to say this. I love both you guys. This has been a blast. Even if nobody's watching, I would have this same conversation anytime, any place. But the fact that everyone is listening, I want to go through one last thing for the final challenge today. and that is the week ahead. We've done the wheel. We've picked our sentiment. Is there any trade right now that you like in the crypto landscape that you would take right now? Again, is it kind of the simple space of if it's today is Tuesday, and the weird part about crypto though is it's 24/7. So let's say if we took this till the end of day Friday, what would be your trade for the remainder of the week? So Scott, you have your active. What are we in right now, guys? You're active. Scott, you shorted Bitcoin. Robbie shorted Bitcoin. Scott, you're looking at a pending breakout on Luna.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was Polkadot, right? Are you short on
Yeah.
Polkadot as well?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm short.
Okay.
Yep.
So anything else for the week that you would like?
I'm more. I look at that Luna trade after looking at the Empire State Building pattern. I'm starting to like that more. But I will say, looking at the chart, I'm short Bitcoin in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love a break above on the hourly chart, a break above the high. I would love to see that. What is that? Right around 38?
38.3 ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I would love if Putin says, "Oh, I was just kidding." I think we might see a Bitcoin rush. Until he says that, I'm happy to be short.
Sure.
But I could easily see just a switch in sentiment and the crazy bulls that we've had over the last year and a half. I'd love to see a break above that and take it up to the recent high around 39,450, something like that.
Okay. I like that. Okay, Rob, anything for you?
Yeah, I think so I'm comfortable being short. I've been short all my life, so like not a big deal. I it's hard to argue with the trend right now in Bitcoin for me. It's very difficult to argue with what is pretty clearly a downward trend on the hourly chart, and we've really struggled to get back to the just the pace of buying and the upward trend. So you could pretty much bring up any crypto, and I hate saying it, but you could pretty much bring up any of them, and I would most likely just go short. I think it's not a trade recommendation. Don't do what I say.
Right.
Don't follow anything that I say. I'm not calling this trade for the purposes. This is a trading battle, and the money goes to charity. And it's this. I'm not actually taking this trade, so I'm calling this out for the purposes of a battle, not for taking the trade. And if I were going to take a trade, I wouldn't take any trade until Bitcoin falls a lot further, and then I would buy all of it that I could possibly buy with my crypto capital, and I would just hold on to it forever. But I'd be short Bitcoin, and I'd be short Bitcoin down to what I said, like 36,700 at least.
Yeah.
And if it jumped a bit, I would probably short some more.
Okay.
It's hard for me to say because you're inevitably going to get people who say, well, it's got to go up, or it's just whatever it is. Like I'm just saying that's the trend right now.
Right.
And if you're going to back me into a corner on a trading battle, which I'm happy to do, damn, I would go with the trend. I would just stick with that for now. And
sure.
I don't want to pick a bottom on this, especially in a week where nobody knows what Vladimir Putin's going to do. Nobody knows. There's like really, like he probably doesn't even know what he's doing. Like there's increasing news out of the Kremlin that he's more and more isolated. He's making more and more decisions on his own, and nobody really knows. He may just not do anything. He may say, well, now we have these two separatist regions and I'm not doing anything else. So fuck off, everybody. Like he may just say, I'm not doing anything. I just declared that those are mine now. Like, maybe not even move any troops. Like nobody knows. And then he'll just be in a sideways pattern forever. Nobody knows anything. And I think in the meantime, we probably want to go with whatever's happening. And whatever is happening is now it's risk off across the table.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't mentioned it, but the Fed and the inflation, those are all serious problems. So it's not just Russia, Ukraine. There are other reasons to be bearish.
Yeah. And I think that's also driving the uncertainty too. I think, I mean, Scott, I mean, Forex wise, way less volatility. Stock market wise, way less volatility. I mean, and again, it's understandable. I mean, Russia, Ukraine is on top of the already questionable. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch the CME Fed tool, like the Fed rate decision is going to be 25 basis points, 50 basis points. It has switched so much, like literally polar opposites over the last couple of weeks. Like 2 weeks ago, it was 80% chance the Fed's going to raise 50 basis points. Now it's flipped and it's going to be 25 basis points. You've got all the speakers saying we're going 7 rate hikes. You got 3 rate hikes. You got it's like this is as confusing as the Fed has ever been, but I almost feel like that's exactly how they want it. And I think the markets are hopefully going to start breaking loose this volatility. And so again, I mean, we can sit here and we can talk and we can talk, but I've been telling traders in live sessions and trading rooms, all I'm saying is if we have to wait for the Fed to allow the market to start moving again, so be it. I'll wait.
Fine.
I'll wait a month. I'll
Yeah.
wait until this thing is the breakouts are happening, the confirmation is there, and it's obvious that price is going somewhere other than where it's been. Because then it's time to start trading it where I can be more aggressive, I can level myself, and I can stack up my orders. But I just think the market is in a holding pattern right now because there's a lot of uncertainty that they don't know how to bake in yet.
And yeah, it's gonna be big too. There's gonna be the coiled spring is real and it's coming.
I agree.
Yeah, the effective Fed funds rate is lower than their current target rate. Like the target rate is 25 basis points. The effective federal funds rate, the rate that they're actually charging is 0.08. So it's 8 basis points. It's not actually higher. And usually before a rate hike, the effective federal funds rate, which is the actual rate that's in effect, which is actually being used, starts to climb, and it hasn't really done that. And also historically, the market reacts negatively to an expected rate hike. And when the hiking scenario goes into play, 2005 was the last, and 2015, I think were the last two, the market actually went up when the rates started to climb. So
once they started happening, right? Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But the trend right now is down. And as long as the trend is down, you're either going to buy the dips on stuff that's really super high quality, like buy a bunch of CVS, buy a bunch of Occidental Petroleum. Like you can buy like super high quality value stocks, or you could buy the Japanese yen. Like you could effectively, you could make a bet on a federal funds rate increase leading to a market decline by buying, the yen, short Aussie yen, short Euro yen. Like those are trades. Those are probably pretty high probability trades leading up to the increase. And you would probably just put those trades on and not. I don't know if you're long or short the yen right now, Chris, because I would, more than that, I would probably do whatever you're doing. But are you long or short the yen?
I'm short Aussie yen. I'm short CAD yen for right now. I think with the play of just looking at some additional uncertainty and some safe haven flows, the hardest one has been dollar yen because it's both strong at the same time, both weak at the same time. And one thing, and I know that this is crypto battle, but we're talking forex here. One of my big plays this year is, and I'm trading very small and I'm leveling in, but one of my big trades this year is a pretty large technical move on the Swiss franc to the weak side. I see the Swiss getting very weak on the technical side. I know that fundamentally it's strange because their central bank has not raised rates. They're in negative deposit territory. They may not raise rates, but technically speaking, it is as strong and at levels that we have, at 20-year highs and lows. When you're talking the Euro Swiss at 103, 104, we're not that far off of parity. The last time we came down that low we're talking flash crash lows in 2015, 2011. So I'm not saying there's going to be heavy intervention. I was prepared for a flash crash over the holidays with thinner market conditions, but I'm looking at the Swiss across the board having some potential intervention. And I mean, I'm hoping to capitalize on thousands of pips there that would probably be a pretty decent chunk of profit for me for this year.
So are you long Euro Swiss?
I am long Euro Swiss. Yep. And I started leveling in at like 105 all the way down to 103. And I'm patient. I'm going to take it all the way down to 9,800 if I have to. And my trade size would be less than like 1.5% risk.
Yeah.
So
the old Schweizer Franken. So, rarely do I see, I mean, I don't think anybody cares if we show this chart, right? Like it's crypto, but
yeah.
I don't see anybody here policing this. So like, I'll just do whatever I want. If you guys wanted to build a robot together, I would build a robot that picked a bottom based on what we're looking at right here. Like this is the daily chart for the Euro Swiss if my screen is being shared.
Yes.
I don't like the word picking bottoms. You just end up with a stinky finger
Smelly
or whatever.
fingers.
Yeah. So, like I'm not, but this looks to me.
Look at that.
Like if we were going to speak probabilistically, this is statistically a pretty great looking buy opportunity. And I like to use these hypothetical scenarios. If you said you got to take a forex trade and you can't look at it for 6 months.
Yep.
This is probably what I would do. I'd probably buy the Euro Swiss and I'd probably walk away and I would probably set some kind of a robot to scale me in on dips and stop me out, you know, below 1 euro.
Right.
That's a brilliant technical trade. And the fundamentals that back that up are the Swiss hate currency traders, and the Swiss like stuff that returns to its natural state. So the Swiss to they love to bring things back to their natural state. They love mean reversion, and they like to do mean reversion all at once.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We've
So they
seen it.
don't do it gradually.
Yeah, we have seen it. Well, gentlemen, we are pressed for time. We're getting the flashing red light in the background. So I want to mention one more time: Scott's charity, the Susan G. Komen Foundation; Rob's charity, the Houston Humane Society. Gentlemen, thank you so much for an awesome trading battle. Risk off for the week for crypto. It's Scott is ready to hit up the courts. He's got his robots running. And lastly, again, follow the channel, The Trading Battle. It is growing. Sponsored by 8cap. Awesome group, awesome team, and keep tuning into these trading battles. Meet some traders out there. Rob, I know that first name basis with almost everybody in the industry. And look, like I said, I love both you guys. I can't wait to do this again. I can't wait to I don't know, see you, talk to you. It's been too long. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today, everybody. Really quickly, if you're following on YouTube, like the channel, click the thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm a ton. Do that for any content you digest in YouTube. Just hit the thumbs up button. Make it easy. If you like the content, it's easy. It does go a long way. And that's it. We'll see you next time in the trading battle. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Have a great week, and good luck on those trades. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.